Mavericks look to make it. Hello, 3 in a row against the Denver Nuggets as they take them on at the AAC. We'll get you ready for tonight's game coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. It's the DLLS Mavs pregame show live in our DLLS Sports Studios. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Corella. We, of course, are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys cover your favorite team, especially when Tanner gets us in the shot right there. Hey. There we are. Appreciate you hanging out. Whoa!
Whoa! Bring
Hey.
it back! Bring it back!
Bring it back!
Wait a minute.
It's an earthquake. Are we in Denver? No. There we go.
Oh, I was too late.
That's awesome. That was amazing. Maybe
my
that's
forehead looks huge right now.
Maybe that's a sign of things to come tonight at the American Airlines Center. Who the hell knows? We're going to find out here in about an hour probably. That's when tip-off will probably be. Scheduled tip-off is at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Dallas as the Mavericks take on not Nikola Jokic, but Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets live at the AAC. Of course, we appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you're here as well on this terrific Tuesday. Bobby Corella, how we feeling? Clearly, we're matching.
I'm feeling pretty terrific.
You look good.
Wait a
Haircut
minute.
look good.
Today's Wednesday.
I said terrific Tuesday.
Kevin,
can we just start the show over? Just start the show over. Like, start it all over. It's a wonderful Wednesday.
Unbelievable. Now, I do want to say underneath. All right, what color shirt are you wearing underneath? Or you're not dogging that, are you?
Hell no.
Okay. What color shirt are you wearing underneath? All right, hang on. Don't say it. I'm gonna count to 3, and after I say 3, you got to say the color. All right.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
White.
Purple. Okay.
Oh, you were just checking to see if our brains weren't, just completely.
Well, because if we got blue jeans, black hoodie, and your shoes aren't white, they're kind of mixed. But
yeah,
mine aren't either. They're kind of
your guys are mixed either.
But,
about those color is mine at this rate. The way you're going here.
Yeah, I got it. Whoa, I showed some skin just now. Whoops. Got purple on underneath this.
Oh, okay.
So
there
we're
you
not
go.
totally matching tonight.
Purple is my daughter's favorite color, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she loves the color purple.
Now, if you're wearing purple, we would have to go down to the undies to see if those were different.
Hey,
and if
all
those
right,
were the same,
okay.
then one of us would have to go home,
no.
and it would be me.
This is a family show. Yes,
Well,
Bobby's haircut.
I'm not saying show them.
No, well, I'm just saying. I don't know where he was going with that. His haircut does look good. He got the fresh lineup.
Well, thank you.
What's your go-to haircut? Like, describe to the folks what you got. You don't know
it's a number 3.
Okay.
And then I tell my guy Ray at Sir Sweeney's in Victory Park.
Okay.
Just say I want a 3 on top, and then you do the rest.
Okay, you got it faded off to the side. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I believe this is a high taper.
High taper fade. That's right. There you go.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I get tapered on the side and get it faded in the back. So
Okay.
I get 1.5 inch. No, 1 inch. 1 inch. I used to do 1.5, leave it a little thicker, but now I just do 1 inch. Then do fade on the side.
Nice.
Taper and fade in the back. So there you go.
Nice. Drop y'all's hair routine in the chat.
Yeah, let's know what kind of cuts you get. How often you go cut? I go every other week. How often you go?
Well, for me, this time was like 3.5 weeks.
You can go 3.5?
Well, he went home for the holidays, so he was out. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I could go with someone, but I just, whatever, I don't want to because I would have. So, yeah, and it was dire.
Yeah,
it was a dire situation. I was about to have to start using a comb, and I do not want to do that.
After about 2.5 weeks, I'm like fiending. I'm like, okay, I got to go get my haircut because otherwise we get to 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Today's topic of conversation was actually the Dallas Mavericks. How about that? Normally, we don't talk about basketball, but today,
your barber had stuff to say, huh?
Well, Anthony Davis has been in the news.
Just a wee bit. 3 months? You can go 3 months without a haircut? No, hold on. You can't go 3 months without a haircut.
That is financially wise.
5-6 weeks?
2 to 3 months.
Wildcats at 6+ months? Y'all lying. Stop it. 2 to 3 months? How could you 2 to 3 months you can go? I don't believe that.
Wow.
Okay. That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a long time. 6 months is wild to me. He says long hair gang. Okay.
Respect
that. Okay.
could not be me.
No, could not be me either. Like, I don't even know what I would want to look like with that kind of hair. Let's get you ready for tonight's game. On a Wednesday night at the American Airlines Center.
Right.
The Mavericks hosting the Denver Nuggets. Game time at 8:30 p.m. You can watch the game on either ESPN or KFA Channel 29. If you're out of market, you can watch the game on NBA TV. The Nuggets come in at 27-13 on the season, 16-7 DNVR away from Ball Arena so far this year. Your Mavericks 15-25 on the year, but do have a winning record at home, 11-10 after 21 games at the AAC. The Mavericks 2.5-point favorites coming into tonight's game with the over-under at 224.5. Of course, your Mavericks sit 12th in the Western Conference, 2.5 games behind the Memphis Grizzlies for the 10th seed and final play-in spot in the West. The Mavericks, of course, coming off their win on Monday night over the Brooklyn Nets of what was a 113-105 victory to snap their 2-game losing streak. Overall, Dallas 4-6 in their last 10 games and 1-0 on their current 4-game homestand. The Mavericks, of course, on the first night of a back-to-back. They got Denver tonight, then they got 2 games coming up against Utah, the first one being tomorrow night, and then later on the 17th against Utah as well, as the Mavericks 7-13 against teams 500 or better so far this year, but just 8-17 against the West so far this season. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets come in 3rd in the Western Conference, sitting 6.5 games behind the number 1 seed in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who got a big win last night over the San Antonio Spurs. Denver, they're also on the second night of a back-to-back after winning last night in New Orleans to get it, what was a 122-116 win. Had a little bit of injury, though. Christian Brown not going to be available tonight as he sprained his ankle in last night's game, so he will be out for Denver tonight as they push their win streak to 2 games. They're 5-5 overall in their last 10 games and 1-0 on this quick 2-game road trip. Denver so far have been dominating against the Western Conference, except when it comes to your Dallas Mavericks, which we'll get more into here in just a moment. They're 17-7 against the West this year and 14-7 against teams below 500 so far this year. After tonight, they'll be back home on Saturday, where they begin what is a 3-game homestand as they take on Ron's Washington Wizards in Denver. That gets us to the Carell Illustrated scouting report on what he's looking for in tonight's game.
So, Coop, Denver, he owns y'all. All right, Cooper Flagg has been really good against the Nuggets this year.
You hear that?
57 points across those 2 games, and that's on 61% shooting on 2s, 55% shooting on 3s. He has absolutely been unbelievable. Only 5 free throw attempts combined in those 2 games, too. So that is some ethical ass whooping. Now,
I like what you did there. I like that.
Aaron Gordon did not play in either of those games.
He did not.
And, he is an incredible defensive player. And I think, what's been interesting to follow regarding Coop this season is the kinds of players that he does well against and the kinds of players he does poorly against. Everyone is kind of different. There are guys that struggle with length. There are guys that struggle with, maybe height. There are guys that struggle with quicker players. There are some bigger guys that struggle with smaller players because they're closer to the ground. They can poke the ball away, whatever. Like Dirk, for example, would absolutely cook big dudes, but up until 2007, he kind of struggled when wings guarded him, and then he had to learn some different techniques. Coop this season, against the guys that the Nuggets have thrown at him, namely Peyton Watson, has really been unbothered. And he has not been worried about Jokic at the rim or Valanciunas or any of those big dudes. Now, both those guys are out tonight, but Aaron Gordon coming back is really interesting because Coop is so physical, and he's very strong, and he's very forceful. He wants to get downhill, and he dares you to stop him. And if you can't, he's either going to just dunk it right on your face, and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel, or he is going to go to the floater, or he's going to go to the bank shot. Right hand, left hand, doesn't matter. Even if you overplay that, he'll even stop, turn around, hit you with a little fadeaway. Gordon is just as tall as Coop, if not a little taller maybe, and he's definitely bigger and stronger than him. And so what I'm really interested in seeing is in those specific matchups where they are one-on-one, what is Coop able to do? Is he able to use his quickness to get past him? Gordon's missed a lot of time this season. Maybe he's a step slower than Coop, or does he pass out of those situations? And then furthermore, if he has success against Gordon, or if he's just matched up against Watson or somebody else, are the Nuggets going to double team him? Because he has absolutely cooked those guys this year.
Saw a lot of double teams against Brooklyn the other night.
Yeah, and, PJ's back and Najee out there, okay, the Mavs don't have a lot of shooters, so they are the kind of team that you could potentially cheat off of, especially without Max in the lineup tonight. So I'm just really curious to see what Denver's going to do against him.
And we're going to find out here again, tip-off at 8:30 p.m., probably around 8:40-ish, given it's a nationally televised game, as the game will be on ESPN tonight.
8:50.
Probably, Tanner. That's a good call.
8:49.
8:49 that's the exact time you're going with?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll see.
Ew.
We'll see how that
yuck.
goes.
Gross.
Plenty of time to get yourself something to eat before the game starts.
That's true. I will be taking advantage of that time myself.
There you go. That gets us to our lead story going into tonight's game, and it's the fact that the Dallas Mavericks absolutely own the hell out of the Denver Nuggets so far this year. As tonight marks the third meeting between these two teams, the Dallas Mavericks have won each of the first two games, one on the road in Denver at the beginning of December, and then 2 days before Christmas, beat them again, scoring 131 points in each of those two games. The Mavericks survived a Peyton Watson missed three-pointer at the end of regulation in the game on December 23rd to escape with that win. But that night, though, Cooper Flagg was absolutely sensational, going for what was 33 points, a game high, 9 rebounds and 9 assists, coming up just a rebound and an assist short of his first career triple-double. And the Mavericks, who are looking to win this season series for the first time in 3 years, have actually won 3 of the last 5 matchups that these two teams have gotten together with. And for the Mavericks, they've been shooting the ball extremely well against Denver so far this year. In fact, in the 2 wins, shooting the ball over 56% from the field, and oh, by the way, shooting over 46% from 3 and nearly 80% from the free throw line. So for some reason, Bobby, when the Mavericks see the Denver Nuggets this year, the offense looks like the best offense in the NBA. The three-point shooting goes absolutely crazy. What is it about this matchup that allows the Mavericks, so far at least this season, to have had success against Denver?
It's a few conceptual things. Number one, Aaron Gordon has been out. I guess that's not conceptual. That's just personnel. I mean, he single-handedly kind of is their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, their bigs, like Jokic is obviously unbelievable. Like, please. And Valanciunas is pretty good too, but those guys don't necessarily have the foot speed. And so AD was able to get good position against them. The Mavs bigs earlier in the year, really, no matter who they have been or who they are, have been able to get the better of those guys around the rim. And so Dallas has had a lot of success in the paint in those 2 games. And then thirdly, the Nuggets don't have those explosive guards that give the Mavs fits.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have VJ Edgecombe.
No,
right?
they
They
do
don't
not.
have Tyrese Maxey. Jamal Murray's really good, but he doesn't have that step. He doesn't have that force. He doesn't have that electrifying presence on the floor that forces the Mavs, can kind of twist them all up into pretzels. Now, Murray can still go for 40 tonight, and maybe he will, maybe he won't, but he just doesn't have, and really no one on the team has that speed. They're a very, very slow team, and that has played to the Mavs' advantage because in both of those games, the Mavs have clearly looked like the faster, more athletic team.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not, that is oftentimes the case, but not against some of the best teams they've played this year.
And we'll look to see more of that tonight as Bobby Sheeran over 7.5 assists per contest in 36 games. And Aaron Gordon, who is playing in his first game against the Mavericks this season, averaging over 18 points per game and giving you over 6 rebounds per contest. It was 18 games so far for him. Of course, the Mavericks going to be led by Cooper Flagg, the rookie sensation, averaging over 19 points per game and giving you over 6 rebounds per contest in 39 games. And PJ Washington is back. Najee Marshall's also been playing well. Of course, he's averaging nearly 14 points per game in 40 games so far.
Whoa. Can I tell you the starting lineup?
Please.
It's Jaden Hardy.
What?
It's Najee. It's Coop. It's PJ. It's Gafford.
They put Jaden Hardy back in the starting lineup?
That's an odd collection, man. It's a very interesting collection of players. I don't know who else I would have expected. I mean, with Max out, it's kind of like you got to start someone.
I mean, Brandon Williams is back tonight. He could have got the start.
Yeah,
but he's
that's
coming
true.
back from illness.
He had I don't actually remember. I mean, Nimhard's had good games against
Nembhard could have started. He
Yeah.
actually played really well in the game against Denver the first time around.
I mean, it is kind of the coaching truism. Like, J-Kidd started Hardy last game, and he had a really good first quarter. So it'd kind of be like, it'd just kind of be crummy to just bench him after that.
I know Jason Kidd didn't forget that Jamal Murray's on the other side.
Well, Najee's going to guard him.
All right.
And Coop and PJ. I mean, any of those guys can guard him.
All right. I'm genuinely surprised that Jaden Hardy's getting the start tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I said, Ryan Nembhard had his breakout game in a Mavericks uniform on the road against Denver. And yes, against Denver, you see the numbers so far this year, averaging 19.5 points per game, shooting 68% from the field, nearly 63% from three in nearly 34 minutes, and giving you 8.5 assists in the first couple of games against the Nuggets this year. But Jaden Hardy going to get the start once again for the second straight game. He scored 11 in the first 17 points in the game on Monday against the Brooklyn Nets to get the Mavericks started in that game. They're going to be facing a Denver Nuggets team that is an offensive juggernaut. So far this year, the Denver Nuggets, the number one offensive rated team in the NBA, eighth worst defense in the league. But that also gives them a number 5 overall net rating. Check this out. They're number 1 in points per game, number 1 in field goal percentage. They're the only team in the NBA shooting over 50% from the field this year. Oh, by the way, they're number 1 in three-point percentage. They're the only team in the NBA shooting over 40% from three so far this year as well. And they're number 5 in free throw percentage through 40 games for them. As we mentioned, the third of 4 regular season matchups between these two teams. The Mavericks survived a Peyton Watson mystery pointer the last time out for the Mavericks to be able to get the 131-130 win. Anthony Davis, of course, in that game had 31 points, along with Cooper Flagg's 33. Of course, no AD tonight for Dallas. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll be welcoming in our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Harrod Jr., live from the AAC. But before we get there, let's help you win some money tonight when it comes to Prize Pick.
Cooper Flagg. He's been my nemesis lately on Prize Picks.
I know you've been missing out by just
and it's
much,
been Coop like it's been. I think it's been something in the last 3 weeks. I think I've lost 5 by just one
one stat. Yeah,
and Coop has been the guy like almost all those times. But tonight, Coop more than 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. I think he's the focal point now without AD. He could get that just in points alone. Najee more than 13.5 points. I think his strong run is going to continue. And then Peyton Watson, who over the last 5-6 games has averaged like 37.5 points a game or something.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. It's closer to 20, but still more than 14.5 points. I think he's going to feel a little revenge on the brain after missing that 3 to win the game the last time he was here too. So if that lineup hits, my $5 pick would net me $11 in cold hard cash. If you want to play along, download Prize Picks, use promo code DLLS. We're making a $5 lineup to get 50 in lineups anytime you like on Prize Picks. Good to be right.
I'm so fascinated by what the space is going to look like tonight. As Gafford mentions, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford all on the floor at the same time.
Not great. And Gaff.
Yeah, like that's going to be, the spacing is going to be very, very interesting to watch. Let's welcome in DLLS Mavs at Ron No Sports. Ron, what's going on?
Kith.
Good. How are you all doing?
What's going on?
Yes, it is, Bobby.
He asked, what's going on? He said good.
That's right.
All right, I'm not going to acknowledge the bit anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not going to acknowledge the bit.
At this point, it's a bit. I do it. It was by accident.
All right, my bad. No more fourth wall. The bit will just live.
See ya, fourth wall. That's all right. Let's get to the injury report going into tonight's game. Lengthy for both teams coming in tonight. We'll start with the visiting Denver Nuggets. As you can see, a lot of folks out for the Nuggets. Christian Braun, he sprained his left ankle last night against New Orleans, so he's out tonight for the Denver Nuggets. Big miss for them. But Bruce Brown and Aaron Gordon are both available. Bruce Brown dealing with some knee inflammation, and Aaron Gordon, of course, still working his way back from that right hamstring strain. Cam Johnson still remains out with that right knee bone bruise, which he suffered actually in the last meeting here against Dallas back on December the 23rd. He remains out. Of course, Nikola Jokic remains out with the left knee bone bruise as well. But he reportedly could be back by the beginning of February. So big news for them as far as Nikola Jokic is concerned. Spencer Jones and Jamal Murray both available tonight. Jonas Valanciunas, the backup big for Denver, he is out. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Mavericks, Max Christie popped up on the injury report with illness. He will not be available tonight. Musa Cisse saves one of his games. He will be out tonight for Dallas. So Anthony Davis, of course, out indefinitely with, or at least 6 weeks, I should say, with the left finger sprain that he has. Kyrie Irving remains out. Miles Kelly, you could see some available minutes for him tonight. He's good to go. PJ Washington makes his return after missing the last handful of games with the right ankle sprain. And Brandon Williams is back tonight after missing Monday's game due to illness. So that gets us to what Jason Kidd had to say prior to tonight's game. Ron, what did the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks have to say?
Yeah, well, Jason Kidd talks a lot about pace. So I asked him, does pace have anything to do with kind of an uptick in injuries? It's across the NBA, a lot of the soft tissue stuff. his response was that the league is fast and that the athletes are bigger and stronger, and that just might, open up to more injuries. He did say that he's not a doctor. He only did 2 years at Cal, so he doesn't know how much that affects his ability to diagnose injuries. So just for a disclaimer there.
Jason Kidd's hilarious when he answers questions about medical stuff. He always prefaces by saying, "Hey, man, I'm not a doctor. I don't know too much about medical. Only went to Cal for a couple of years." Like, he's always giving the disclaimer. That gets us to our Mavs player spotlight. We take a look at Klay Thompson. The former Splash brother has been performing extremely well over his last 9 games, shooting 41.5% from 3, giving you over 12 points per game, coming off the bench in 23 minutes of play. Klay Thompson been filling it up. Was really good on Monday, went 6 of 9 from downtown, had the 18 points. Him and Jaden Hardy were going off in that first half, especially from downtown. Klay Thompson was a +7 overall in that game in what was nearly 27 minutes. The Mavericks made 15 threes in that win against the Brooklyn Nets, break up the Mavericks from the three-point line. They'll need quite a bit tonight of that run because they're facing a Nuggets team that is literally the best three-point shooting team in the NBA in the form of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, without Max Christie, it's going to be really hard to consistently shoot well from beyond the arc. But like the graphic just showed, Klay Thompson is still one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. And right now, over the last 10 games, has been the best shooter on the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to need another big game from Klay Thompson. I think what's kind of been shown with Klay is that even if he's hot, Jason Kidd is doing his best to keep Klay's minutes under 30, it seems. And to be honest, I think that's kind of probably was best for Klay Thompson, being a 35-year-old player, had a lot of has had some major injuries in his career. He's played a lot of big games, but staying under 30 minutes is keeping him fresh, keeping him healthy, and they're going to need him tonight. But the Nuggets coach David Alderman kind of just talked about like what this team looks like without Jokic. He said that Aaron Gordon is also a good passer for a power forward, but he said that the Joker might be the best passing center of all time. So he said it's going to look a little bit different with Aaron Gordon trying to do some of the pseudo Jokic type things. So while the Nuggets are one of the best 3-point teams in the NBA, the Joker does create a lot of those looks. But with Jamal Murray, who was a game time decision, but is playing tonight, he's been doing a lot of playmaking for this team. So I'm interested to see if he can continue that while fighting through injury.
Yeah, the Nuggets are going to go small tonight with their starting 5. They're starting Aaron Gordon at center tonight. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Oh, makes sense then.
So, Daniel Gafford, I'm looking at you. You could have an opportunity to make some things happen in the interior with the Nuggets starting a pretty small lineup relative to, they don't have a true big man. No Jokic, no Valanciunas. So, Aaron Gordon going to get to start at the 5, it appears, for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, but you're not going to post up Gafford like more than once or twice. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It allows them to switch everything, which I think is good.
I was thinking more from like a rebounding perspective. I would hope that you would be able to, handle yourself a little bit on the glass. I know he's not a great rebounder, but that's a small lineup Denver's putting out there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think what David Altman said before the game was kind of just a tip to. I didn't get that tip that Aaron Gordon was going to start at center, but by him saying that a lot of stuff was going to run through Gordon, kind of how it runs through Jokic, I probably should have gained that tip in pregame. But I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Gordon has 8 assists tonight.
Got a lot of shooters. The Nuggets got a lot of shooters. As we mentioned, one of the best shooting teams in the association. That gets us to our X factors and what we're looking for tonight. Anything before I get to the few that I have? Anything particularly that you're looking for in tonight's game as the Mavericks take on the Nuggets?
Anything particular?
Yeah.
Either
health. Based off the first couple of games, or
Cooper Flagg's health.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's interesting you bring that up because Jason Kidd did say something prior to tonight's game that caught my attention a little bit. And Ron, I'm sure you heard it as well, obviously. Jason Kidd saying as the team gets a little bit healthier, he's hoping to reduce some of the minutes for Cooper Flagg. He feels like he's been playing Cooper Flagg a lot more minutes than maybe he has wanted to. And with the team getting a little bit healthier, he's hoping as the rest of the season goes on, he can reduce some of that workload from a minutes perspective for Cooper Flagg. So speaking to the health idea, I think Jason Kidd along the same lines as you with respect to watching how he's managing the rookie who's obviously playing the most games of his professional career. Only played 37 at Duke, and now is game number 40 for him going into tonight. So interesting tidbit there from Jason Kidd. All right. Let's get to the X Factors going into tonight's game. Let's look at the first one. If you're the Mavericks, you got to protect the ball. This is a Mavericks team that actually has done really well against the Nuggets protecting the ball. In fact, only 9.5 turnovers per game in the first couple of games against Denver so far this year, which is really, really good considering the Mavericks commit nearly 16 turnovers per game on average, which, by the way, is 9th worst in the league so far this year. But when they've played against Denver, Ron, the Mavericks have protected the ball. I imagine some point guard play has helped out quite a bit, Ryan Nembhard, when he was in the lineup to be able to run the offense for them.
Yeah, again, the Nuggets coach kind of talked about Cooper Flagg and says that, hey, we haven't been able to guard this guy every time we've played him. He's been just a force guy getting downhill against the Denver Nuggets. That's helped open up a lot of shots and a lot of shots when you can kind of get those 2 feet in the paint, as we always talk about on the podcast. I'm interested to see if Cooper Flagg can go 3 for 3 with just banger games against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I do wonder how that matchup will look with Aaron Gordon guarding Cooper Flagg, the physical nature of which Aaron Gordon plays the game with, and how Cooper Flagg responds to that, because he loves getting downhill and getting into the paint and finishing with authority. We'll see how much he's able to do that tonight. Bobby, I'll go to you on this one. The Mavericks got to find a way to avoid the big quarter. If you look at the first couple of games, the Mavericks allowed the Denver Nuggets to score what was 41 points in the first quarter of their first matchup. Yes, they did win. But in that second game, they allowed the Denver Nuggets to climb back into it by allowing the Nuggets to score 47 points in that third quarter to get things tight. And, of course, the game remained tight to the very, very end. The Mavericks got to find a way to avoid giving up the big quarter, because the Nuggets are definitely capable of such explosive offense in these games.
Yeah, they got a lot of shooters. Obviously, without Jokic, they're not nearly as – well, I say that. Maybe their offensive rating's still good, but they don't seem as dangerous without Jokic. But in that third quarter, well, it was really like almost the whole game. They were so on fire from 3. I mean, Timmy was just bombs away all night. And first time they played, Spencer Jones was red hot. So, just find shooters. And then if you do lose them, hope they miss like Peyton Watson did.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. having, in some respects, a career year, especially from the three-point line. He has been fantastic off the bench for the Denver Nuggets, by the way, on a minimum contract in Denver for THJ. So we know a little something about streaky THJ around here, because when he gets going, he can go on some heaters, and he can do so pretty quickly. Last one for the X Factors for tonight. If you're the Mavericks, Daron, you got to find a way to disrupt the offensive rhythm of the Nuggets. This is a team in Denver, 6th in the NBA, nearly 29 assists per contest so far this year. This team loves to share the basketball. We know how much they love making shots. If you're the Mavericks, you got to find a way to disrupt that rhythm that Denver is accustomed to being night in and night out.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely looking for Najee Marshall to start the game on Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's like a 6'4", thicker guard, big legs. Not just as perfect for a player like Najee Marshall. He kind of thrives off guarding these type of players, while Jamal Murray's going to get his shots and while he's going to get off. Najee kind of gets going by like guarding these top players in the league. He feeds off of that kind of energy of seeing them miss shots. I'm looking for him to kind of hopefully make a difference for the Mavericks tonight, for Mavericks fans, of course. And then again, Peyton Watson has been on an absolute heater. It has to stop somewhere. Hopefully he doesn't keep going tonight against the Dallas Mavericks, but they're going to have to do something to run him off the three-point line.
A lot of old Mavericks in town tonight. If you're looking on the Denver side, assistant coaches J.J. Barea and Jared Dudley on that side for the Denver Nuggets, as well as former Dallas Mavericks Tim Hardaway Jr. And on the Mavericks side, former Denver Nugget assistant coach Popeye Jones, of course, with the Mavericks now as part of their coaching staff as well. Look forward. Should be a fun one tonight as the Mavericks look to make it 3-0 against the Denver Nuggets this year. Ron, we appreciate the time. Look forward to talking to you the postgame.
See y'all later.
Bye, Ron.
It's our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Haraj Jr. live from the American Airlines Center. That'll do it for us here on our pregame show. We'll be back here about 10, 12 minutes after the final buzzer. Late start time tonight, boys and girls. Scheduled tip-off 8:30, which means around 8:40, 8:45-ish, Tanner, when it comes to tonight's game. So come back here with us after our post-game show. A lot to talk about Our guy Mark Stein had some very, very detailed reporting today on the latest when it comes to Anthony Davis. We'll get into some of that during our post-game show as well. Appreciate our guy Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. It's our DLLS Mavs beat writer. Nope. That's our analyst.
I'm not a beat writer.
You do write, though, sometimes.
Nah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you post-game right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.